Stampers, this is Dawn from DawnStampingThoughts.net, and today we're going to make the step block card. Isn't it cute? Sits up like that, and I've made so many of them. This is the happy birthday one, and then this is one I made using all the new in colors in a bunch of different sets. And then we're also going to make an envelope for this card because it's a little bit bigger than a standard size envelope. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm using the crisp cantaloupe, and this is cut at 4.5 by 12. And then you're going to need another piece cut at 1 inch by 4.5, and then you're going to score it in half at 1/2 inch. So it's 1 inch scored in half. Okay, and then it's 4.5 inches long. Then I have some squares cut out. This one is 1 3/8 square, and then this is 1 1/4. And you're going to, depending on how you want your card, let me show you here. This one, I just decorated the front and the top. Okay, so not the back. You're going to need 9 of each of the squares. 9. And then also the bottom if you want to cover that. Okay, so then this one, I covered all the squares, and you're going to need 15 of each if you want to do that. Okay? Okay, and then I also have a piece of the Lullaby designer paper, which is also the square that I used for the 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. And this piece is cut at 1 3/8 by 4 3/8. Okay, so let's go and grab our Simply Scored. Okay, so we're going to take the 4.5 by 12, and we're going to score this at every 1.5 inches. So we're going to start at 1.5, 3, 4.5, 6, 7.5. Then we go 9, and then 10.5. Okay, then we're going to turn it. We're going to score it at 1.5 and 3. Okay, so now we're going to count over from the left. Going to count out 4 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the section we're going to cut out. These 2 squares here. Okay, so now we're going to cut out both of these squares right here. Okay, so this is what it should look like now. And now we're going to cut the slits right here. We're just going to cut this one and this one. And turn it and do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so it should look like this now. Let me show you here, pull these back. Okay, so it should look like this. Okay, all right, now we're going to grab our adhesive, and I'm going to use the Fast Fuse. And this part right here, this center square, is going to be your very first step right here, okay? So we're just going to fold that part, and you're going to fold your other 2 steps, squares. Okay, so I'm going to add some Fast Fuse to these squares here. So now you're going to bring this square over, and you're going to overlap it with the opposite side. Just like that. Do the same thing on this side. Okay, so now you see the card forming here. It's like that. Alright, so now this bottom piece, you'll notice that this side is longer, so you're just going to fold this side up. And then this is where this panel comes into play. So we're going to put adhesive on both sides of this with the Fast Fuse. I love this stuff. Okay, so now the sticky side is going to go up and under this panel right here. Okay, it's like that. Then you're going to bring this section up to that, and it's going to be hidden from the outside. It's like that. So then that is going to make your card stand up. Don't you love it? Oh my gosh. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and decorate it. So now we're going to go ahead and adhere these 2 pieces together. This is the 1 1/4 by 1 1/4, and I'm using the Lullaby designer paper. And then the Whisper White is cut at 1 3/8 by 1 3/8. And I went ahead already and did all 9 squares. So I'm just going to flip these over and put adhesive on them, and we're just going to decorate it really quick. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and decorate the front. Okay, so I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm just going to make a really nice crisp fold there on the edges, and then I'm going to fold it the opposite way and do the same thing. Okay, so there's your card. Isn't it adorable? Alright, and then, you know, use your imagination. You can use any kind of stamps to decorate this, or use your framelits, graduation cards, wedding, really any kind of theme that you want for this card. Alright, so then I'm also going to add this little piece of designer paper. This is the 1 3/8 by 4 3/8. I'm going to add this to the very bottom just because I want to cover up those score lines. Okay, so it's just going to look like that. Isn't that cute? Alright, so now we're going to make the envelope. Let me show you here. Now this card measures 6 by 4 1/2. Okay, but depending on how thick you put your, you know, decorations on here and how you want to accessorize your card, I'm going to make my envelope a slightly bigger. So I'm going to use the envelope size 5 by 6 1/2. And that is right over here. Let me see if I can find it. 5 by 6 1/2. So we're going to cut our paper at 9 1/4 by 9 1/4, which I did using Whisper White. And then we're going to score, our very first score line on the envelope punch board is going to be at 4. So by now you probably know how to use this envelope punch board, but after that first score, you're going to ignore that whole measuring up here. So first we're going to measure at 4, punch, and then you're going to score. Okay? Then you're going to turn it, and now you're going to use this tail and line it up with that score line. So I'm not even using this measuring anymore. Just using the little tail there. Okay, so there's our envelope. I'm going to fold in the sides and then the bottom. And of course I'm going to use the fast fuse. Okay, so then fold this up. I'm just going to make some. Okay, so we're going to put the card in the envelope, and you're going to see how much wiggle room you're going to have for decorating. So now, but I made one that was 4 1/2 by 6 1/2, and the measurement is on here too. 4 1/2 by 6 1/2 is right here, an A6 card. So you're going to cut your cardstock at 8 7/8 by 8 7/8, and then your first score line is going to be at 3 3/4. But when I made that envelope, it was a really tight fit, but you can try it. But like I said, it just depends on how much you want to put on your little squares, and if you decorate the back too. And then also on the back side would be nice if you don't put any designer paper there. That would be probably where you would sign your card. Okay, so there's that one, and that one, and then this one. Let me tell you the stamp sets I used. On this one I used the Label Love stamp set with the petite petals and the matching punch with some basic rhinestones, and then pistachio pudding. And then this one I used all the brand new ink colors. And then the two stamp sets I used for the greetings are the petite, pears, and then also something to say. And then also with the itty bitty accent punch pack. Okay, so that's it. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you later. Bye.